Well, I think when you look at the series, Atlanta's a better team. They're quicker, they're faster, they're better defenders, and Orlando's being totally frustrated. Howard's frustrated not only in the paint, but the outside shots are not falling. And I think the big thing is, Stan Van Gundy keeps talking about Orlando. Well, they got the shots, they're just not falling. Well, he wants to work in the gym, extra shooting. Well, it's one thing to shoot in the gym with nobody guarding you. But these guys are flying all over from the Hawks. It's like rushing the quarterback. You know, you can stand there all day in practice and hit your receivers. When guys are rushing you, even though they may not be sacking you, it disrupts your rhythm and timing. It makes it more difficult. And I think that's what's happening to Orlando.
What's the best game you've seen so far in the playoffs? I know it's early, but just through this first round.
Well, I'd say probably Boston, New York. I mean, the first two games of that series, when New York looked like they should have won the games, but to watch Boston execute down the stretch, to have that, I don't know, veteran leadership, and then to have Doc Rivers do such a great job calling the timeouts, and to see how they're able to come together and take the talent of New York and the Knicks lead, and just, it meant nothing because Boston had the leadership, they had the experience, and they had Doc Rivers making the calls, and it was great to watch.
Hey, speaking of Doc, isn't it odd to see Doc as a head coach? I mean, because you covered him as a player out here in Atlanta, man, just being an Atlanta guy.
It's not odd to see him as a head coach. It's odd to see him as the head coach of the Boston Celtics, because that's the team that everybody hated in Atlanta. That's the team that kept Atlanta from going to the finals. That's the team that they couldn't get over the hump. That was the team that everybody disliked, that hated the Celtics. And if you'd have told Doc Rivers when he was a Hawk, hey, someday you're going to coach the Celtics,
Hey, and also, too, tell us a little bit about your career. Where did you start, and how did you get into this business?
I thought you said this would be short.
I know. This is it.
Let's see. Graduated from Northwestern, worked in Sarasota, Tampa, St. Pete, Fort Myers, Kansas City, Atlanta. I was a meteorologist. I was a news director. I did radio play-by-play. Finally got into sports, and then came to CNN. And then after 9 years at CNN, I evolved into TBS and then TNT.
One last thing.
That's a short vision.
Who do you have winning the whole thing at the end of the day?
I think that Miami can get it together strictly because they are so good on the defensive end, and I think they can win the East. I still think the Lakers, even though they're having problems now, will come out of the West. So I think those two teams, I'm not a front runner, I'm not on the bandwagon. I wasn't a big Miami supporter, the big three getting together, but their defensive presence, they are so quick on the defensive end, I think that will carry them over.